Mark and Luke and any other place in between. This is a picture which you will see. This is a picture of my grandfather, Morris Allen Sr. Now, but I'm going to get to Morris Allen Sr. in a minute. But I would look at that house and say, one day I'm going to have a house just like that. Why it was so ridiculous? During the era that I grew up, when I was a child, people would work in the cotton fields when the cotton was real short, and they would chop the cotton, which means that they would clean out the grass in between it and all of it, and they were paid $3 a day. Not an hour, $3 a day. How long was the day? Well, there was a term, I think they did say from ken to cane, but it's actually, really, the correct interpretation is from can to cane, from the time that they could work. And that was determined by the sun. If you got out there and you were in the fields before the sun came up, and you did not go home until the sun went down, that determined how long your day was for the $3. If you were in the season where the cotton came up to be picked, you were paid $2 per 100 pounds. And if you picked 200 pounds, you made $4. And so, you know, there were a number of interesting things that I discovered as I was a child. I discovered, number one, you know, I'm not going to make it as a cotton picker and a cotton chopper. It's just not going to work for me. I'm not good at that. And I was never at the head of my class, and thank God that he gave me some other talents. But that was a measure of how successful you were with how many pounds of cotton could you pick. Can you imagine that? Anyway, so trying to imagine owning that house, making $3 a day. If I would have said that out loud, people would say, where's the loony bin? Let's take this kid to the loony bin. He's crazy. That's how ridiculous it was. But as Jesse would say, I kept hope alive. I kept the dream alive, but I kept it within myself. So I grew up, went to high school there, graduated, had an opportunity to get a little small scholarship to A&M College in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Turned it down because my sister had said to me, and all my sisters and brothers, by the way, were much older than I, and I was a surprise tummy ache for my mother when she was about 44. That was me. But anyway, she lived, and all my brothers and sisters lived in Detroit. So I left, and after high school, went to Detroit to go to Wayne State University. And in the day that I went there, which I don't hear any of you majoring in education, but I hear you doing things and wanting to do things with charter schools, and that's another whole story. I won't have time to tell that story, but I was at one time considered one of the pioneers in charter schools. I had more charter schools in the beginning, about 16 years ago, than I think any person in the United States at that time, black or white. But there was a reason why that took place. It wasn't by accident. But went to Detroit. Was going to be a math major. It soon kicked in that that separate but equal schooling did not work. I did not have the proper preparation in high school. I had not had advanced. I had heard of calculus, but I never heard anything, you know, advanced other courses. We didn't even offer that stuff, you know. I want to paint the setting for you. Every book, it was like, wow, we got a book